Hi, this is Miss Robin called reading to you from the Orensburg Area Free Public Library. We love it when you come and join us for our story times. Today I'm going to read something that I came across. I thought it was pretty funny. It's called The Biggest Nose. The story and pictures were made by Kathy Capel, and it's a story about Eleanor. Does Eleanor have the biggest nose in school? Well, what can she do about it? The biggest nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, counted Eleanor softly to herself. She was holding her breath and trying to keep from sneezing. It was reading period, and everyone was supposed to be quiet. 6, 7, 8, 9, continued Eleanor, and just as she was about to say 10, she sneezed. Achoo! Everyone burst out laughing. It sounds like a school band tuning up, said Harold. And Eleanor is the trumpet, added Lizard. Doesn't her nose look just like a trumpet? No, said Betty. Her nose is too big to be a trumpet. It's more like a tuba. In fact, Eleanor had the biggest nose in the whole school. It does not, says Eleanor. Oh, yes, says Betty. Name someone whose nose is bigger than yours. Eleanor thought for a minute, and she said, I know, my sister Hilda has a bigger nose. She's an elephant too, and she's in the next grade, so I'm sure her nose is bigger. How do you know? Asked Betty. Have you ever measured it? Well, no, said Eleanor, but you'd better know by tomorrow morning, said Betty, because we're going to do some measuring ourselves, and if you're wrong, you'll be sorry. Eleanor was worried. That afternoon, when Eleanor got home from school, she went straight up to Hilda's room. Hilda, she said, get a ruler and hurry. What for, said Hilda. I want to measure your nose, Eleanor said. Are you crazy, said Hilda. But she let Eleanor measure her nose. 12 inches plus 9 inches. That equals 21 inches, said Eleanor. Now you measure mine. Hilda measured Eleanor's nose. Let's see. It's exactly 23 inches. Are you sure, asked Eleanor. Hilda measured again. Yes, 23 inches. It was true. Eleanor's nose was bigger than Hilda's. It must be the biggest nose in school. That's not so terrible, said Hilda. Your nose is probably growing faster than the rest of you. I wouldn't worry about it. Now leave me alone. I have homework to do. That's no help at all, said Eleanor. She ran to the bathroom and locked the door behind her. Dumb old elephant nose. I'll make this nose of mine look smaller if it's the last thing I do. And she took her nose and turned it up and down and over and under every possible way. Then she tied her nose in a knot. It was shorter, but it looked very silly. It was better off before, said Eleanor. She tried to undo the knot, only it wouldn't come out. Oh dear, thought Eleanor. I can't let anybody see me like this. Please knock. Please not. Please come out. Just then her sister knocked on the door. Come on, Eleanor, let me in. You've been in the bathroom long enough. There are other animals around here. Eleanor did not know what to do. So she grabbed a towel and threw it over her head and her nose. She opened the door. It's about time, said Hilda. I was washing my head, said Eleanor. You were, weren't you? And that's my towel you were using. Hilda pulled it away from Eleanor, and then she saw her nose. Eek, said Hilda. Look what you've done. You're so weird. Mama, Mama, Hilda cried, running down the stairs. Eleanor has her nose all tied in a knot, and it looks really awful. What, said her mother, and she ran up the stairs behind Hilda. My baby, screamed Eleanor's mother. What is all this commotion, her father wanted to know. Then he saw Eleanor with the knot in her nose. We've got to do something, he cried. You hold her feet and I'll pull the knot. Now, 1, 2, 3, pull. You think that'll work? But it was no use. If anything, the knot was tighter. It's much too swollen, said her mother. We need some ice to make it smaller. And they ran to the kitchen for some ice. Oh, it's so cold, said Eleanor. Soon all the ice had melted, and still her nose was in a knot. We need to make it more slippery, said her father. Try peanut oil. He poured the oil around the knot, Eleanor wiggled her nose, but they couldn't get the knot untied. We may never get it out, said Hilda. She'll be this way for the rest of her life. Suddenly, Eleanor's nose began to tickle, and she started to sneeze. Uh-oh, what will happen? Achoo! And the knot came out. Whoa, everybody's happy. Hooray, shouted Eleanor, I have my old nose back. She ran to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. It really was a very nice nose after all. I don't know why I listened to Betty, said Eleanor. What does a hippopotamus know about elephants anyway? Just wait until I see her tomorrow. When Eleanor got to school the next morning, Betty, Harold, and Lizard were already waiting. It's about time the biggest nose in the whole wide world and the whole wide school showed up, yelled Betty. Let's measure it. Just 1 minute, said Eleanor. I have something to say. She looked straight at Betty, straight in the eye. I may have the biggest nose in school, but I wonder who has the biggest mouth. Betty shut her mouth with a snap. Harold and Lizard started laughing. Or the biggest tail, said Eleanor. Or the biggest feet. This shut everybody up. Now then, said Eleanor, who's going to do the measuring? No one said anything. The bell rang, and Eleanor went straight to her desk and sat down. She was ready for a new day. And that is the story of the biggest nose, because we all have something special about us. Thanks for coming.